Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is I think this is like my fifth interview this week, but it's all good. I'm energized and we've got a great
James is a
guest.
busy guy.
Yeah, right. Okay, so so today we have Colin here, and Colin's actually been on here before. And Colin, you're probably one of our more favored guests. Not that I'm saying the other guests aren't favorites too, but so Colin today and James today are going to be sharing some updates about some regression notes as well as some remote viewing notes pertaining to the super soldier community. So Colin is a super soldier. I'm pretty sure he was in Darkfleet. He's a remote viewer, precognitive. He's clairaudient. I met him in the SSP at the 500 room Marketer Retreat Hotel in Iapetus with that was my alter, Derrick Reinholder, who was also visiting at the same time. Derrick was a non-commissioned officer for Fireteam S in Nacht Waffen Regir. Nacht Waffen Regir is a branch of Nacht Waffen stands for Darkfleet, but Regir, that particular group, I believe, is subservient to the ICC. This hotel is an R. ICC is Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate. It doesn't matter too much. It's off topic, but this hotel is an R&R facility serving clientele, mostly military and pirates. So, yes. Okay. Well, anyway, Colin's email is in there. So, welcome, Colin, to the show. How are you doing?
Good. And also, I wanted to add that we have found quite a few other experiences where we crossed paths in the programs. The Marketeer facility was the first regression in which or which we discovered that we had some service together. Some of the recent regressions, um, include the desert planet battle that took place when we were part of a four-man recon team, and essentially we were struggling to get off the planet, and that was probably one of the more recent regressions. But yeah, we've got some goodies today about the community in general. So we can start basically wherever you want.
Was the that planet the one with Darkfleet? It was I mean, you already said desert planet, but I showed you a picture, a
Yeah,
drawing
yeah, you
that I
did.
had
Yeah.
one of my altars. Okay, how about I pull that up since we could tell the audience or we could show the audience
It
if
was unbelievable how similar, like what I saw in in the regression, was so similar to what he's about to show you here.
that
Um,
one is that it?
yeah, that was one of the ones you showed me. Yeah, there was an evacuation going on. Like I was saying, we were struggling to get off the planet. There was some major activity going on, and we had infiltrated something. There's still more that we need to figure out about that particular experience, but in fact, I remember, very clearly the weapon that you had at that time. It was a long-barreled rifle of some kind. So
It's some kind of plasma weapon.
could have been, yeah.
Or
I mean, at
pink
that
color light
time,
come out of it.
we were using the programmable matter tech. So it could have been really anything. And some of what we're going to talk about today has to do directly with the programmable matter technology, and some of the tech that we discovered in a recent regression, like the drone that is stored along the lining of our rear plate. There's like a bulge that would stick out back here, and there was a drone probably about the size of my hand that you could control with a binocular device, and the drone would conduct long range reconnaissance, and it would also be a saboteur drone that would more or less vaporize an enemy upon impact. So that was one of the things that we recently found. Do you think it's cool
That
if
Can I share this?
yeah,
The
go
note.
ahead. Yeah, we can
Oh,
start
oh,
with
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That's the wrong one. That's
Well,
okay. Hold
what I was
on.
gonna say was, do you think should I make like the general announcement as to what we can expect over the next 7 years or so?
Yeah, yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I had an experience last week. I was pulled through a portal, and on the other side of that portal was none other than Cash Patel. I was extremely surprised to see that. But if you look at what he did in the last 45 administration, he was the chief of staff to the to the Secretary of Defense, or so, I think that's what his role was um, at the end of that administration. So what that told me was that, you know, they're deeply involved, and what I was told as part of this experience is that all of the SSP personnel that were part of the programs, whether it was against our will or we signed up for it, um, we're all going to be given our memories back in full, and we're going to be returned the energy that was taken from us um, against our will, and it's all going to happen between now and 2030. So I was basically given this information to tell the community that starting now, we can expect, all of the energy to start flooding back in. Um, it may start off slower and pick up, which is what you would expect, but anybody that legitimately served in the SSP will be given their memories back and experiences back in full. And the Alliance Council is currently coming up with a plan to reimburse us, whether that be monetarily. We're already going to be reimbursed energetically. But there he is. Yeah, he was the guy on the other. He's the one that was he greeted me on the other side of the portal, and basically what he showed me was um, some of my major memories in training when I first entered the programs. He actually showed me the very first time that I was considered for a program. I actually got arrested for trying to operate a weapon that didn't have my genetic signature, and they caught me and realized that my genetics, my dispositions were that of, you know, basically not just extrasensory, but I had predispositions to psionic abilities, interfacing with crystal technology, portal opening and closing, energetic, concentration and direction telekinetically through my hands and eyes. So I was pulled into a program, and that's how it started. Roughly 300 years or so into the future. One of the things that was made clear to me is that we all came back in time here. We all came back in time to correct this timeline, because what had happened originally, the Cabal on this timeline had won the war, and it really wasn't much of one, because what had happened was the Cabal more or less, took complete control after World War II. And what had happened was that he created a center for tyranny in the not just the solar system, but the galaxy. And it was so bad that some of the federations and groups within the galaxy that were benevolent decided that we would use our allies from other galaxies to create a program to go back in time through an emissary program and conduct this mission from the outside in, or I'm sorry, from the inside out rather than the outside in. And that's what we're doing right now. So as we grow older in this lifetime, we'll begin to get a lot of the experiences and memories and abilities back. So we're kind of starting, from the starting line here. Everything that we see and we remember from our service occurred in the future. So it's critical to remember that. Now, that's not to say that certain missions didn't take place in our past, but most of what we experienced took place in the future. So that particular experience showed me a lot of what my initial memories were in the programs and why I had gotten pulled into the programs in the first place. So, and it also showed me both light and dark. Some of what had happened to me as a super soldier, working for the regressive side, and then liberated, and then working for the Alliance, the White Hats, and the benevolent side. So we took a lot of notes the other night. We did some regression work. Still a lot to dig into, but anybody that was part of these programs. Just be ready, because you're going to start feeling a lot of energy. You're probably already starting to feel it now, but it's going to come on strong, and you're going to start to have these unpredictable events occur where you're going to be pulled through portals and shown exactly what it is you did, how you got into these programs, and it's going to pick up in pace from here until 2030 roughly. So
Wow. Okay. So just to make this clear, the Cash Patel was in the future that you were this meeting that you're at.
that's right.
Yeah. Maybe I could just bring it up in the regression that we had, so we can just so people can see it too, what we're discussing. Hopefully everybody can see. I can make the text a little bigger.
Let me answer a question real quick. Sorry, in the chat. The secret to James looking younger is because he too is getting energy back that was taken from him against his will. So you may be starting to see that take hold in his projection, his image. That's very important to understand that, because that's like I said, as we go further down this timeline, it's going to be basically as if we regain all of our abilities as well. So in this particular timeline, by 2030, we'll be basically full-blown soldiers again, super soldiers with our abilities. And also one of the things I forgot to mention, and then James, I'll let you move forward with that, but there's going to be an armada invasion that takes place here on this timeline. The Orion group, particularly the Siakar Dracos, are going to try an armada invasion to retake the system, and we're going to be called to fight in that defense of the invasion. And then also, I saw further down the timeline, towards the end of this century, a lot of the super soldiers are going to be responsible to bring the fight to them, particularly around Thuban, which is a stronghold of the Draco right now. So
yeah, let's just go up to this. So we made Cash Patel. Sorry, I'm gonna scroll this up just a little bit. Oh yeah, we're in some kind of great hall. Sees Fireman Team S here. I think it was supposed to be S, not 8. There's advanced race here.
no, you're right. It was an eight man. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, 8 man. Okay, they are super ESP. These beings that were in this meeting with you, I guess. So let's see here. And it's just going to go down here. Okay. Cash Patel, liberate us. He's the chief of staff to Secretary of Defense, but he's hiding under the title. So in the future, we'll learn more about him in the decade, I guess, coming in the future. Maybe 2030s. I don't know. Over time, our soul in this reality, not ours, just people, SSP veterans in general, will get stronger and stronger, because all this energy that was used as slaves are going to be coming back to us reimbursed energetically.
Right. That's right.
Over the next 10 years. So yeah, I apologize, guys. I know I didn't spell check, but I literally have not been stuck in so many interviews. Okay,
Thuban is one of the home planets for the Siakar.
Yeah, did I put that in here?
No, I'm just answering. I see there was
yeah, so once planet Earth is liberated, the super soldiers, SSP veterans, are going to be compensated. Then we're going to be healed, and healed then compensated, and then we'll have some time to help rebuild humanity. After that, the Space Alliance, let's see here. So Space Force becomes Space Alliance in 2053. Then 2153, it's renamed Space Earth Alliance, but I guess the Space Alliance just becomes more galactic. But the version here on planet Earth is Space Earth Alliance. So don't quote me on that, but because remote viewing things can change. But
well, those are correct. So the years are correct, but we have to remember that we're conducting a mission that we went back in time for. So while those councils or whatever were created during that time, we're now operating in this theater of war during this timeline at this time, in the year of 2023. So it may seem as if these alliances were created recently. Yes and no. I mean, they were created, far into the future and then brought back here into time to conduct this mission. So
thank you. Okay, so yeah, over the next 100 years, planet Earth will be lit. So I guess we'll reach our peak in about 100 years' time. The super soldiers will be asked to go out, take battle. There's going to be a battle around 2098 near the Thuban system. So you already mentioned that.
Right. We're going to be expected to participate in that.
once, in my book, I talk about the Thuban Draco. We're at Montauk and how they had these confessional booths where they would carve a cross into us and have us drink this blood that they had. And
Or ritual, yeah, yeah.
so these particular Thuban were
Tal'Shiar or the Tal'Shiar are guilty of that as well. Those types of fuckers.
their souls were like some like lower level minions of hell, and they wanted to use us at Montauk to, I guess, to take over the world through the New World Order. And that's what they thought in their mind, that we would be their police force or whatever. But it didn't really work out as planned for them. But so yeah, other races that are going to join in this battle are the Nekoma.
Yeah, the Necomach. So those are the aliens from Independence Day, actually. In Independence Day, they're portrayed as our enemy. However, they are not our enemy. They are an aggressive race that actually the Siakar Dracos are extremely afraid of. I'm not sure that's the spelling, but hey, that'll do.
All right, so we kicked their butts, and they're kicked out of the galaxy, and then I guess the humanity found. I don't know. I guess I think it might take 1,000 years really to really liberate the galaxy. But after that, I
It'll
guess
take some time, yeah,
yeah.
but we're well on our way. And, we have to remember that coming back here to do this now is going to create quantum echoes. So the correction will actually happen exponentially faster than you may believe.
Thank you. In 2030, the SSP veterans are going to be the new leaders responsible for setting an example for us of humanity, or the teachers and guides, beacons of light. So I guess we're going to help rebuild humanity and Tartaria. So as I
Yeah.
said, I don't know,
Yeah.
anybody watched my earlier interview today with Dylan Monroe and Susanna and some, but the Q team. But we were discussing how Saint Germain was successful on convincing the European royalty to set aside their differences and set up the United States of Europe at the same time as the United States of America. The whole planet right now would look like Versailles, as lavish as Versailles. It doesn't have to look exactly like it, but that's
Yeah, it's
so.
nuts what they did, man. They destroyed so many of the Tartarian like buildings that they're free energy centers. And we're going to get back to that, and a lot of the new construction that's going to take place between now and 2050. It's those buildings they're going to be in that style, but also with a modern touch to them. Um, so yeah, it'll be
All
look
right.
forward to that.
So let's see here. Yeah, somebody was asking about Jimmy Payne is talking about the nuclear war. I think that's the timeline where the people that are still on 3D Earth go into, and then we're already
Yeah,
switched over to positive. That's why there's
yeah,
a
that's
disconnect
right.
from what Colin says and what Jimmy Payne says. So I like what Colin says. I like
Well,
this ending of the story.
that's the thing. Like that timeline that Jimmy's talking about was the one that played out before. Um, since we've come back to fix that timeline, that's not going to happen. There's too much help here now. There wouldn't be an opportunity for somebody to detonate a nuclear weapon. It would be impossible based upon the technology here and the people that are paying attention to that kind of a thing. So we're on the right timeline. We're not going to experience nukes, not here at least. We might see one somewhere out in the galaxy, but that's a big no-no with some of the more advanced fourth and fifth density races, because we have to remember nuclear weapons will disrupt a lot of the travel networks that these higher density beings use to get throughout the systems. And it has an effect on reality outside of our own. So
All right. Yeah, so now we go. I guess Cash was there, Trump and Melania. So they're all projecting themselves into from our future into the past, into I guess the
yeah,
current, or maybe
so
the past.
this experience was not the first one where Trump was present. There's a big event that's going to occur this year. A lot of people refer to it as like the big crash fake World War III, or fake nuclear scenario, but real World War III type scenarios. That event actually already occurred in fifth density. Things happen here a lot slower. So I got to experience the event from the outside looking in, and I was able to feel the panic that the collective is going to feel here it's going to be pretty intense for a good month, and then it'll take some time to heal from or get better from, because all the declass. I mean, all this declassification we're going to expect here. It's gonna rattle some feathers. It's gonna really throw people off that didn't know these types of things were gonna happen, or were happening. So
Okay, great. Now, I guess, are we ready to move on to the Alpha Squad? Want to talk
sure.
about? Okay, so Alpha Squad is a group of, basically starts off as a group of rogue super soldiers that were, I guess, maybe they were slated for extermination, somehow escaped, and then so they started doing mercenary type work, and then other super soldiers that weren't happy of how they were being treated joined in, and then the squad eventually, in the current time period, it has about 100 members, and I'm AKA Agent Sabretooth. I talked about some of the other members of my book, Dreadnought and Bloodstreak. It looks like Colin is in the group too, AKA Agent Rattlesnake.
Yeah, those are like our nicknames. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was like a group of some of them, some vigilantes and criminals, and yeah, I mean, and actually the Alpha Squad got so big, they had to create a council to manage the Alpha Squad.
So I think the council are like a group of engineers, like medical support staff. I guess people that do strategical type planning, and I guess there's probably also a recruiting, like the training crew. So I think that's probably the council. Or is that accurate, or what do you think? Am I on something?
Well, the council it's made up of members of the Alpha Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's engineers and soldiers and infiltrators and whatever have you.
Yeah.
It just we choose people to represent us.
So, like I said, in the current present period, they are, I mean, I guess you could say their own group, but in the future it becomes even bigger, to the point where Alpha Squad is the squad to be in, because they pick the best of the best, and the reason why they call it Alpha is because it's the first group that's gone into battle, so you have to be the elite of the elite. Like my alter is a sniper, and yeah, I guess they're upgraded to Gen 8, so they have cloning technology. And see what else. What else you want? Should we just? Oh, maybe go into what's in here. Yeah, humans. Okay. So it's controlled by an AI, or okay, benevolent AI. It regulates it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think. Yeah. And if you
You
want to
want
learn
to
more,
talk about the
huh?
do you want to talk about like the drone, or where are we at? Can you scroll down
Uh,
on the notes?
this the drone was earlier, so I can go back up to that.
Yeah,
I was right at the beginning.
so we did. I just want to let people know the way that we handled these regressions. It was done in like a remote viewing manner, where James gave me coordinates, and those coordinates would bring me to certain points where I could see certain things. So I mean, I was thinking maybe we could address those coordinates, because the first one was the drone, I believe, the saboteur drone that was also used as a long range reconnaissance.
The spine dart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was spine dart. It was connected to our consciousness, and it would give us long range reconnaissance abilities to see across all different light spectrums. And if we really needed to use it, we could also use it for assassinations, because if you activated that setting, and by the way, this was all done through our implant. Um, and you could use it for assassinations. It would vaporize a target upon impact, and then you would have to replace the drone. But the drone is like I was saying, it's stored on your spine, so it's connected into your spinal fluid and your spinal cord, and that's what gives it such a psionic ability, and it just really connects to your consciousness, so you're really able to clearly see certain things. And that was interesting, because I'll be honest with you, before that particular regression, I hadn't seen anything like that, in any previous sessions. So
Do you?
that
Yeah.
was cool.
Okay, somebody was asking what exactly you're remote viewing. So this is like one of your special abilities as Agent Rattlesnake. You have this drone that can disconnect from you and
Right.
basically assassinate anyone.
Yeah, and that's so like I'm a remote viewer in this timeline in this body, and that just so happened to be an ability that I developed out as a super soldier as well, and that just it was one of my you know strong suits that I was able to develop into a drone and use it for those types of things where it gives you a clearer image of what you're viewing, and you can use it for all different reasons. So yeah, I mean, uh, let's see, what was the
Uh,
next
Colin,
coordinate there?
Colin,
Yeah,
do you remember something called golden form or heightened stage? Does any of that
yeah,
ring a bell
yeah,
to you?
yeah, like yeah, heightened stage for
What
sure.
is so?
Well,
What is
golden
that?
form and heightened stage are just ways to like to maximize your energetic output regarding a certain ability. So you would have like golden form or heightened stage for certain abilities that a super soldier may have. It wasn't necessarily just focused into one. Um, you know, you could. It was like a training uh, assistant, if you will, and it would focus your ability to manage your energy more efficiently, more or less. That's kind of like the best way to put it, I guess.
Okay, great. So if you want to learn more about Alpha Squad and golden form and all that, so go check out my book. I go into all that much detail. So let's go ahead and move on here because I know we got some more topics. Do you want to go into
Yeah, the
what
next coordinate.
the kill
Let's see, what was that one?
This may not even this may not. Yeah, this is
Oh,
like
the Killy Tokert. That's right. There was a. Well, I mean, you could just read it out. I'm glad we took notes on this. Um, the second coordinate brought me to a field of vision where I had individuals around me, and the focus was on a particular being, a Killy Tokert female. Now, the Killy Tokert are a regressive race for the most part. Of course, there's going to be benevolent and malevolent of every race, but this particular one defected to our side. Um, yeah, Alishay. It was something like that. Her
so.
name.
The gist of this basically is stating is that in the future, as the Alliance can, after, of course, after planet Earth gets liberated, many other planets with these more negative regressive races are going to start flipping. So maybe they'll
Yeah.
turn more neutral, and then eventually, I guess they just consent to turn to positive. I don't know. Kill a Toker could never be. I don't know. I guess this one was positive. I guess she helped out the Alliance, the
Yeah,
space.
she brought a technology in. There's definitely more to find on this particular vision, but I saw these like spire-like objects with these growth sacs on the side, and they were growing some kind of organism. Um, and then let's see. Oh yeah, and then she showed us like all of the areas within this galaxy that the Killy Tokert have settlements or bases, or it was a really cool view because it was like a zoomed out view of the galaxy, and there were highlighted areas of everywhere that the Killy Tokert had, like I said, bases or settlements or concentrations. And I guess the reason for that is, because I think a majority of them are trying to defect or something. But it gave us the ability to track them more. We have to look into more of that one because there's more to that. There's more to the reason why we were given that ability, and there's also something we need to discover about the beings that were inside those growth sacs, because I'm not really sure. I feel like they were up to no good with them, and I think it was being exposed. And then what was the third? We did a third set of coordinate as well.
Well, there's one that you were on that prison right here, DC.
There was like a dud coordinate that I'm not really sure. I think I was just seeing something random, to be honest. Yeah, it was that one 236202. I was seeing something going on a planet that had mantis beings, and there really wasn't anything to it. Sometimes when you do viewing, you get if there's no intended target given to you by the person that's conducting the session, you may find something random, and that's what happened there. So then we moved on to the next coordinate there. If you want to scroll back up there, James, there's one more. Yeah, it was that four. Go down. It was the four. Yeah, the 482015. Yeah, that was the Great Hall. That was a training exercise, I believe, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a training exercise. So, for any of you guys that know of the game StarCraft, okay, that game was not created on accident. It is disclosure. This particular race that I saw during this regression, um, they resembled the Protoss quite a bit. And this was a particular mission that we were supposed to use a technology that was allowing us to portal in and basically get to a you know what's the word I'm looking for? Get to a waypoint or a nexus point or a point of interest, so that we could carry out a mission. And we were practicing using this particular technology because if you don't use it right, you could do damage to yourself, and you might trap yourself. There was a follow on lucid dream I had the other night, actually, and it was a memory that was being given back to me about portal travel, and how in fact, here, let me just read what I wrote, because I immediately wrote this down. So, more portal entry training tonight. It was a big ordeal, and safety was a big deal amongst everyone. They said if you enter into one of those things the wrong way, you could come out on the other side, inside out, upside down, or potentially die. They rewarded us for smart jumps. Okay, and then the follow on to that had something to do with anklets I was wearing. Um, it may or may not have been related, but I wrote this as well. So also, I found a way to slip out of my anklets tonight. They scared me a bit. They scared me a bit though, and almost allowed them to detonate for cheating. So these anklets, if you slip out of them, they'll detonate. So it was definitely a form of some kind of slavery or bondage. But we have to remember the regressive side of super soldier work was done against our will, and oftentimes we were slaves. So a lot of the memories that I've had recently are of escaping certain situations. There was one particular vest that I had on that if you could slip out of, you would then become free of some sort of containment. And then the same thing with the anklets as well. So that was quite interesting. But that going back to the coordinates there, that particular mission was interesting because it was a big team effort. We all had this ability to open a portal in front of us, enter that portal, and set a destination point for it. And when you would come out on the other side, you would have to make sure you had enough energy to portal out of there as well. So it was the training was to manage the ability to manage that tech. And we were training somewhere trying to basically obtain a relic or something, or some kind of landmark, that we were supposed to. It was like a capture the flag type of training. But in the beginning, it didn't seem that way. In the beginning of the regression, I thought we were on a mission, and then I saw more of the, the event, and it just turned out to be a training. So,
Wow. Okay, well, I've got something. This is what I have from Dr. Michael Wolf about portal tech. Well, no, it's not too much on here anyway, but let's see here. He says, well, I guess going back to the Area 51 complex, he says it's the size of Rhode Island, contains about 100,000 staff members. The base is many levels deep into the earth, with each level requiring higher and higher levels of clearance, with the deepest level restricted to only hybrids and extraterrestrials. Area 51 connects to other facilities and underground shuttle system that travels at speeds of 1,000 miles an hour to 3,000 miles per hour. The facility also has jump rooms and portal tech, which Wolf learned about at the mess hall. Dr. Wolf did not have access to portal technology. It says that portal tech is very dangerous to your aura and body because the portal modifies your own quantum field into the portal's vibration. This places you in a state of quantum flux, which requires a med bed to fix. He also states that as you approach the portal, that it's very energetic, and you can feel the hair on your arms or whatever stick
Yeah, it
out.
was a big deal, man. Like when I had the memory given back to me about the training, it was safety was a major part of it for sure.
Okay. And the other thing I want to comment here, this was in my book about Muni and programmable matter. So, programmable, yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. Okay. So, my digital copy was being handled by a male reptilian by the name of Muni. He looks brown with green scales. He's 8 foot tall, and his job was to train my digital copy to become a super soldier. He appears to be part of some of the lower reptilian slave caste. Nearby, there are 4 cages with 50 kids each being trained to become super soldiers. I'm located in pod number 4. There are boys and girls here, but most of them are brown and black kids. Some of these kids are from other planets. There's some kind of Zulu tribe planet. The ones who fail the training are eaten or harvested for adrenochrome. My digital copy is here. All of us are in this pod are named after their pod leader, Muni. When I graduate, eventually they're going to give me a number, but because yeah, we don't really have a name at this point.
That was
Yeah,
the Muni, like the MUNE apostrophe something,
yeah,
right? It was like a
yeah.
weird name. I remember that. Yeah.
My digital clone can shapeshift. So basically, they're training him how they're training him how to shapeshift back and forth from a 6-year-old boy into the body of a huge super soldier. This super soldier form can vary with different types of guns. Some look like phasers, machine gun rounds, or lasers, which come out in 3 directions. These weapons pop out of his body from an implant located in the cerebral cortex. They use programmable matter to make these devices, which is camouflaged and controlled by implants linked to my arm. The weapons can vary based on thought. So yeah, so Colin and I we were working on that project. Thank you, Colin, for helping me on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything you want to add to that?
Well, there was a question about timeline recognition when
Okay.
remote viewing, and oftentimes you don't actually know. Um, you can teach yourself to figure that stuff out. You basically have to understand what the underlying vibration of a certain timeline feels like, and then if you can, remember that or try to mimic that same vibration, it helps you. Like you have to do a lot of remote viewing in order to really get a hold of, like understanding timelines and whatnot. But, until you get to that point, you have to put like multiple sessions together to start understanding how certain things played out. So,
Okay. So should we go ahead? Is there any other topics, or should we do the last topic?
well, I wanted to say something, in response to a recent video I saw. I'm not going to say who this individual was. I'll leave that up to you, James. But um, these channels are not monetized. All right. So people that may think we're making money off of these, these experiences or telling people about them and understanding how things, might play out. There's no money being made here. All right. Just, I want to make that clear because, it's important, because that's not what we're here to do. And also, like a lot of the people that actually legitimately did have a service in the SSP, um, it was done so against their will. And when you begin to remember traumatic events and have to have your memories given back to you that were traumatic and a lot of things that were done against your will, people tend to be very damaged. And it's important to understand that also. It's easy to discredit somebody, you know, because of a past or some things that may have been done. But that does not mean that what they experienced or saying that they experienced, it doesn't mean that didn't happen. So it's important to understand that because recently there have been some comments made uh, that really try to discredit this community and make us look like fools. A lot of this stuff we didn't ask for it, okay, and we don't have to be on here explaining all this to you guys if we really didn't believe that it was for the betterment of the collective. And there's going to be a lot of changes coming up here in the next 7 years alone, and it's important that You know, if I'm told through an experience that I have to share certain things, I'm going to do so. I'm pretty new to the scene, but I'm not new to experiencing. And I've gained a lot of memories back, and I'm one of those, you know, one of the people that are going to continue to gain memories back, just like many of you guys, you know, in the chat that had experiences that, you know, may not have come out to share them yet. That day is coming for you. Whether you choose to share with people or not is up to you. But what happened to you, you don't want to necessarily think that it's, you know, it's crazy and it's not real, because a lot of it is. You know, there were many of us that were involved in this. And if you're attracted to watching these videos, you probably were part of the programs. All right. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Well, I've been doing this for so many years. When I first started out, the hate was just so bad. And, it's kind of funny. I actually let my friend. She has a free energy. Her channel is Free Energy Special Interest Group, and so the goal is to get free energy research technology out there. And I let her be a moderator on my channel, and she commented, "James, how do you put up with the people on your show are so mean?" I'm like, well. Um, I know what is true, and I mean, I have these memories, and I have my research, and these other people are wrong. So that's why I keep doing it, because I know I'm right, and they're not. So ultimately, I'm going to keep doing it, and eventually, I know disclosure is coming, and we're all going to be vindicated, or whatever it is, on a public platform. I mean, we've even talked about this, Colin. There might be even a time where maybe even Donald Trump would even start recognizing the super soldiers and this SSP veterans for who they, what the service that we've gone through in
Well,
person.
that was a big part of what I was told, and yeah, I mean that's good. That's starting like now. One of the goals was over the next 7 years, you know, to return, uh, you know, the memories and the energy to the people that were involved. That's a big deal, you know. There was a lot of energy taken from people that they didn't ask for it, so it's coming back to us.
Yeah, I guess I'll answer this. So why Wolf is coming? Why don't they? Why they allow this info through? I guess through my channel, and why should they not shut it down? So there are
Shadow
other.
banned.
Yeah, there are other channels out there, what you would call a controlled disclosure timeline, that the SSP brought in certain individuals, and I won't say their names, but you might know who they are by the problems they've been creating. So these individuals, yeah, the goal was to let people know about the benefits of the SSP without telling them about the child trap. I can't say it because we're on YouTube. The human thing going on where they are abducting humans, sending them off world, converting them to slaves or cyborgs. So that's the most insidious part of all this. So, I mean, there is opposition. But I'm just gonna keep doing it because I know it's right. Though.
Here, if this helps some of you guys that might be skeptical, I just want to show you something. Okay? It might be hard to see it. Hold on. Yeah, the lighting is really bad. I don't think that's visible. I'm trying to show you a portal that opened.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Portal.
yeah, but fuck. Are you able to see anything? It's just a
It's
bright
just
light.
yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well,
Unfortunately,
can you send it to me quickly right now?
yeah, I
And
can
then
do that.
I'll download it. And yeah. So somebody's commenting here. You have no real injuries because from no real. First of all, they don't use bullets in the SSP, so that just shows you really don't know what you're talking about. I mean, there are rail guns out there, but even that's very primitive. So it's not even worth.
Yeah, people like okay, so yeah, the munitions that we have conventionally here on Earth are very rare to find. I mean, we're talking about high energy weapons are the main form of weaponry. Okay, and also the avatar that we may be in this particular timeline is not the same avatar that we're in every time. Okay, and also the energy, our soul or part of it, can also be pulled into other timelines, which is what has been happening to me lately. All right, and I'm here to tell you, exactly what's going on. And here, let me just say this: you don't have to believe me, okay? It's whether you believe the message. Does it resonate with you or does it not resonate with you? Look, if it doesn't resonate with you, then it's probably not for you, okay? But if you resonate with the message, follow it. See where it takes you, okay? I'm not the end all be all of this fucking, this group of people we love in the SSP. So there's many of us out there. I'm just one. And there's a lot of people that don't want to come out and talk because they may not be ready. They may not be ready to do that yet. But their time is coming if they so choose. James, I sent you the image.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure it's gonna work. Oh, okay, hold on a second.
So that's a portal that's open above my house, just to give you an idea of some of the things that go on.
That one there. Okay.
And I have tons. I got thousands of pictures of either that particular event, but what's happening here is there's a craft coming through it. You can see it. You can see the triangular shape of it. That's right above my house. All right. That's just one example. You guys want some evidence? There's some evidence for you. And I've got a ton of those from different angles. So, just like I said, does it resonate with you? Does it ring true to you? If it does, follow it. If it doesn't, go somewhere else.
Right. Okay, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there.
Yep.
Thank you all. Let's see. Hold on a second. Thank you all for listening in. And if you have some questions for Colin, we can bring him in on here maybe next month. We get another update. We can do some more work together.
Well, real quick, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. These updates like this are going to have to happen much more frequently. That was something that was told to me to relay to everybody, that as this, this energy that's increasing, as it continues to flood into us, there's going to be new breakthroughs happening all the time. So it's important that we stay current with these videos. So I'm open to doing these as often as possible. Somebody wants to know the XLM value. Let's go with 5 figures. Do I have a website? Not yet. We're going to talk about that, though. It would help to have one. I have an Instagram, but that's about it. I mean, I have my YouTube channel. It's kind of small. But, I mean, I try to stay up with it as often as I can. That's really about it today. But, we'll do another one maybe next week, or we could do them every 2.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Colin. And thank you, audience members, at least the ones that were civil today and had something worth contributing. We thank you as well for coming on here. And the audience members that are watching this, post the live stream, put your comments in there or questions for Colin, and we can do some research and put out some more reports.
My YouTube channel, no, XRP is going to be 6 figures. My YouTube channel is Elven Realm, with a dash and then Majestic 17. Elven Realm dash Majestic 17. All right.
Thank you all.
Cool,
go to my website, Super Soldier Talk. If you want to learn more about some of these interviews, go to neologicaltech.com. You get a copy of my book. You can learn about the Herosquad and Programmable Matter and much more. But there you all have it, everybody. May you have a wonderful evening or day or wherever you may be, and we'll all see you all later. Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao, Bella.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.